Hi, this is Tom Kane, the voice of Jedi Master Yoda. And this is Inside the Force. Listen, you will. Foreseen it I have, yes.
It is a period of Star Wars mania, as new movies, comic books, novels, and TV shows populate the system. Fueled by their love and passion for the galaxy far, far away, two exceptional geeks tap into hundreds of holocrons in order to bring you the knowledge and insight of all things Star Wars. Come and join them as they go inside the Force.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Happy New Year. Dave Cottingham here with Casey Cooley.
Hello everybody.
And this is Inside the Force. We are back.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, 2015.
There you go. It's the year, man.
It is the year.
This year, Star Wars will come out.
Oh my God, yeah.
We can now say this year. Yeah.
Wow. I just, my mind just got blown just now because didn't even think about that.
Yeah. And that's the show. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, we'll see you next week.
That's all we got to say. Yeah, that's all we got to say. That's all we should say.
Yeah, I know, right?
You don't need anything else. Come on.
Yeah, so we've been away for the holidays. In case he's gone through some life altering.
It's been a crazy, like the whole year. It seems like every time we say like I've had some big life altering moment.
Well, you have.
Yeah, married,
yeah,
big career, and we just moved into our first home. I'm now a home owner, closer to Studio B.
Correct.
For 2021 Network, but
that's right.
Yeah, it's very exciting.
Yeah, and not so much myself. I just hung out with the kids over the break, but and got some much needed.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what's crazy is I feel like I rested my vocal cords.
Yeah, true.
Because I do 3 or 4 shows a week. You know, it's like
yes.
I did realize after a while, like, man, I think my voice is hurting a little bit. So you got the new refreshed Dave Cottingham voice right now.
There you go. I mean, you do have some news, Star Wars related news, perhaps, that we might not need to share that might come about this weekend for us, right?
No, we will. Absolutely, we will.
Okay.
We'll save that for the end, though. Let's save that for the end.
There you go.
So you got to stick. You have to listen this whole time now.
Yeah.
As we'll get into first, as of course this format is going to stay the same this year. We kind of changed formats in the middle of last year. If you guys been with us for that long, we're going to report everything canon based as far as that we know. We'll hit every aspect still, movies, TV, comics, novels, games, and then whatever else event wise comes through the information waves, including Celebration, which comes up here April of this year.
Yeah. So
usually first up, Casey gives us the latest on episode 7, which is obviously, as you say, coming out this year.
Yeah. My gosh. I mean, we will be getting a lot of big news soon, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Especially coming closer to April, but I mean, honestly, not much in the last few weeks. There's been a lot of little things, I would say, like some confirmation and reveals of like other actors kind of saying like, oh yeah, I'm in Star Wars too, kind of thing. There were a couple actors from the Raid movie that were cast, and I guess they've already shot their stuff, I assume. Stuff like that. I mean, it's nothing huge. I doubt may not have huge roles, but scrolling through here, one of the things I thought was interesting. It's related to the movie, of course, but it's more about the merchandising aspects of The Force Awakens. Let's see, the toys that will be released. I'm trying to figure out if this is an official piece of news, whatever. But it seems like Hasbro, of course, will be producing the toy lineup from The Force Awakens, and this appears to be the toys. I'm trying to find the list here. The toys that will be released. I mean, there are a lot of the ones that are very common, of course. Like you have this is like lightsaber, episode 7 lightsaber, episode 7 like starfighter, the kind of thing like this, but they're very vague in their descriptions. They'll say either hero vehicle or hero action figure kind of thing. But one of the ones that interested me was it says a Star Wars 7. I'm gonna try to find lead villain electronic mask.
Right.
So that's one of the things that I thought was very interesting. Kind of leads us to believe, kind of almost confirms that, that we long thought that Kylo Ren, who assumably is our lead villain, has a mask. He's almost a cyborg-ish type character that has a mask. Because we've seen the concept art that was leaked that is turning out to be true. And once again, it's amazing that all this concept art is turning out to be true. So it seems like he will indeed have a mask, and they're actually going to sell the mask, which is pretty cool. Other little things, one that might be raise some eyebrows, is it says Star Wars 7 Darth Vader voice change mask. So it does seem like though almost every Star Wars movie that comes out, I mean not everyone, but like Episode 3, of course, they had a Vader mask, but because Vader was in it. But it's just interesting that they would repackage a Vader mask for Episode 7. A lot of people were saying like, oh, this definitely confirms that Vader's mask will be in the movie at some form or fashion. I don't know. I mean, I can't say for sure if this is true or not. I mean, it seems like it is. Obviously, it's in the movie because like it looks like Kylo Ren actually uses part of the mask, part of the helmet. But I just thought it was interesting that this almost confirms it, kind of thing. But that, to me, honestly, that was one of the highlights of the 3-week break that we had that kind of came out regarding Star Wars Episode 7. I'm looking through here to make sure I've covered most of it. But some actors have been talking more about it. Oscar Isaac was promoting kind of the film, and J.J. Abrams has been talking about the secrecy and the production of it and all this stuff, and even Liam Neeson has been talking about it, kind of thing. It's just very interesting, but yeah, nothing revealing, nothing new. To report. Just a lot of cool little things that get us even more hyped up.
I mean, it's in post production now, so
yeah,
it is gonna be quiet now. I mean, everything's just gonna be kind of released on trailers and
right
TV spots eventually at some point. I mean, that's gonna be much later, but.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I don't anticipate anything really until April.
Right.
So, but obviously, if something comes up,
Right. It seems like though one of the big things that came out over the break was once again this rumor about a Han Solo spinoff or a solo film, whatever you want to call it. Will be
a solo film.
A solo film about Solo. Will be made. Will be actually probably be the first one, perhaps, is what some people were saying. First solo film that we get, and even so, like Aaron Paul looks like he might be casted in this, not as Han Solo, but he will be in the film.
Yeah.
Some people were jumping on the board, like saying, "Oh yeah, Aaron Paul's gonna be Han Solo." First of all, that's absurd.
That would
no
be.
way ever.
Yes.
Unless even if it was a young Han Solo, I would feel weird. I feel like if you did a young Han Solo, you would have to go really young.
I agree.
Like teenage years, I don't know. But I just don't think they'll do any Han Solo movie because, too, like Kathleen Kennedy has said on record that they will not do a solo film that involves the original characters, right?
That's right.
Am I reading it wrong or?
No, I think that's right. That's why it's weird. I mean, I think it's maybe the main cast, anything that intertwines, because I think, that's why I think Boba Fett is, maybe a likely candidate, because he's kind of a secondary character. But no, I don't think any of the lead characters, I don't think there's no way. I mean, that would do a disservice a little bit to the
right.
to the actors, to the guys that played those characters.
Right. But yeah, that was interesting.
That was interesting. So, so movie wise, just waiting on Just waiting on footage, man.
Yeah.
So moving into the return of the Star Wars Rebels, actually, this past week.
Yeah.
If you have Disney XD, watch Disney XD, you were able to watch this a week before, which I did. I actually watched it a little less than a week before it aired on television, but this one was highly anticipated. Because it featured the return of obviously a very well-known person from the Star Wars films, Frank Oz, back to voice Yoda for the first time since Episode 3, back in 2002. No,
5, right?
2005. Yes, you're right. 2005. So, first off, how surprised were you that Frank Oz actually did come back? Because I'll be honest, obviously Tom Kane has become kind of Yoda. If you think about it in the animated series, even though we didn't see Yoda in this, Tom Kane has been the voice of Yoda. It's like it's almost like the first episode, the Spark of Rebellion of Star Wars Rebels. It's kind of like if they would have brought back Ewan McGregor to voice Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh, right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so how surprised were you at first that Frank Oz even came in?
I was surprised, yeah. I mean, exactly for the reasons that you said. I mean, even when you watch it, I can tell the difference, I feel like. Like, it sounded just slower, more, I don't know if mature is the best word, but just a more seasoned Yoda sound. Because it just sounded, because Tom Kane did a great job. It sounded perfect as Yoda, but it's still, like Frank Oz, it has that certain texture to it. But it was great to hear it. I mean, no doubt, I loved hearing it. It just, Rebels has been doing such a great job at making it feel more like a Star Wars film, even more than the Clone Wars, for the fact that they are using the music and they're using apparently original cast members. But no, I was surprised. I think they used Yoda very well, because I was, me and you both are very curious as to, we're kind of weary about how they would use Yoda.
Yes.
But I think they did it pretty well.
I think they did too, and I think as regards to him coming back as this, I think the main difference for me is I can kind of get past that. I think the voice is similar enough as far as the sound of it.
Yeah,
but I think you can tell if this even makes sense. But like Frank Oz, because I think he almost, because he was the first to do it, he almost created the Yoda language,
Yes.
And it feels like he speaks the language, and the way he talks is, and I think maybe with Tom Kane, unfortunately, he does the voice, but he's doing the voice as he's reading his part,
Yeah, true.
So
true.
I don't know if a lot of people understand that, but I'm pretty sure you do. But I think it's just, there is a slight difference there. I don't think the regular person would notice that, but it did. It did feel different. The language sounded different.
Yeah, I mean, it's everybody has their Yoda impression, and it's they always invert their lines as Yoda does. Maybe definitely to an extreme degree, but yeah, Frank Oz does it. In regards to Yoda, it's confusing, but you have to In regards to Yoda, Frank Oz does it in a realistic way,
right?
Again, if that makes sense. Like, I'm not saying that Tom Kane was one of these people who did go overboard with it, but maybe they did overcharacterize it a little bit, going overboard with the inverted dialogue. But I agree. I definitely see what you're saying. That Frank Oz, it seems natural for him.
It does.
He's not trying hard to sound like Yoda and to talk like Yoda. It's he just does it.
That's right. And so how how disappointed or undisappointed were you that we actually didn't see Yoda?
I wasn't disappointed. I was relieved, actually. I mean,
Really?
yeah. Even if we had saw some sort of vision of Yoda, I think that would have taken away. It's cool to just hear him because it still leaves to wonder, and actually to me it makes Yoda even cooler because he's Lord knows how many systems away from Lothal he is, but he's sensing this is happening. He must sense the disturbance or a tremor in the force or whatever, and then he just communicate to him.
Right.
It's a bit risky. It seems like it's very risky for Yoda to do that. Nonetheless, I mean, it's quite amazing.
And is that what ability is that? Is that the ability that he learned from the prophetess or whatever that?
Prophets, yeah, possibly, because we saw that kind of those orbs, definitely from the Clone Wars, like straight up. That's what was used. So yeah, it seems like he is tapping into this newfound power that he has.
Yeah,
to talk to them. But it was, I mean, that scene in general when he's talking to Ezra and Ezra's just talking like he's like, I mean, that was really, I mean. I hope it's not silly to say, but it kind of moved me. It just really was powerful, and I was emotionally moved by just the whole episode in general.
But it did kind of throw me off at first too, though, because I kept thinking when I first heard him talking, I kept thinking of Luke in the X-wing during the trench run, because Obi-Wan was talking to him. But Obi-Wan had passed already. Yoda is still alive. So it is a question, I think, that it's a valid question, like you just said. Like, how did he know at that point that they were in a temple, or maybe that's how he knows. Maybe he knows when a temple is accessed or something like that, there's someone in there, and who it was and stuff like that. I mean, he's never met Ezra before. So there's I think there's some lingering questions, which I think they'll probably answer. I think Filoni does a good job of eventually answering, some stuff that happens, especially like with Mortis in the Clone Wars. And of course what happened to Yoda at the end there of the series. But what did you have? What else did you want to talk about mainly on this?
Excuse me. Well, I think one of the parts that I really loved was actually towards the end of the episode, where as they're leaving that temple, and like Ezra says, like, "Hey, why don't we stay here? It's a pretty cool headquarters." And Kanan says, "Like nothing's left in there but the past." Right. Excuse me. And it's kind of a big moment. I think he says that line to me. He says it there's a lot of emphasis on that line, of course, for the episode itself, because it's it's kind of signifying the Jedis need to move on. That's an old way of living kind of thing. But it also kind of made me think, what if I'm probably drawing for straws here, but what if that kind of tells us how episode 7 and that timeline will be constructed regarding Jedis. We already kind of thought this too, because Luke has presumably been gone for a long time. There's probably not any Jedi temples around, kind of thing. But I feel like this line that Kanan said itself, in a way confirmed that, to me at least, because there's nothing in there but the past. So, and they left a big moment there, and the music kind of got big, and you saw a big wide shot of the temple, but kind of say like, well, that's the past, so there's nothing. The new movies are not going to hit on that, because that's all in the past. There's the Jedi, the way of the Jedi temples, the old way of the Order is long gone. Then we're going to see a new usher in like a new generation of Force users. It's going to be done differently. It's not going to be done the same Jedi Temple or Jedi Academy way. Mm-hmm. That's the past. So it just made me think more about Episode 7, saying how. Wow. We will definitely see probably some new way, some new force, like the Force will be used in different ways. Not just a typical Jedi apprentice kind of master and apprentice kind of thing. I don't know. It was just me thinking out loud, but
no, that's that's very good.
I mean, they keep stressing that there's huge connections between the Rebels and Force Awakens. So I don't know if this is one of those connections, but just thinking.
No, and then of course, being called the Path of the Jedi, this ends with again, kind of a surprise for me too. Ezra building his own lightsaber.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was really
now
cool.
we got a little conversation. I got a little conversation with Chad, another member of 21 Network here, and
yeah,
we got on the topic of lightsaber construction and how what was canonized. Do you build your lightsaber, or do you actually, as we've seen in the Clone Wars, do you use the Force to build it?
Yeah.
And technically, all we've seen canon-wise now is that you build, that you can't, because that's what that was. I think it was called The Gathering, was the episode of the Clone Wars.
Right.
And that if you can't build it using the Force, then you can't build a lightsaber.
Right.
So
but yeah. It seems like you can, like the only way to build it perhaps is the Force.
Right.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's what has happened here, right? I mean, I think it seems as if Ezra physically constructed his lightsaber.
Seems like it. I mean, we never did see it
right
completely, but unless it's just something that we don't know, but yeah, because we only saw it in Clone Wars. But there was one deleted scene from Return of the Jedi where Luke is building his new lightsaber.
Correct.
And Obi-Wan's like cave or whatever, and he's doing it by hand.
That's right.
It's a deleted scene, but some may say it still happened. It's still canon.
But again, Luke, and maybe that's what I'm kind of getting at. Luke and or Ezra, obviously they probably don't know any better.
Yeah.
They haven't had that training, that tutelage, or seen anybody else do it, so they just kind of did it themselves. But that's interesting, because does that mean that anybody could technically build a lightsaber?
I think, it seems like it. I mean,
getting the crystal is almost a trial.
Right. Absolutely. Like it goes to Force sensitive people. Really, like the crystal chooses you kind of thing.
Right.
But I'm thinking back to, I mean, it's obviously classified as Legends now, but the KOTOR games, in those games, you constructed your lightsaber using the Force. So that kind of went with what we saw in Clone Wars. So, but I don't know, maybe there might not be like a total canon way to build a lightsaber just yet.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's a good question. Be something to ask Hidalgo or
Pablo
Leland
Hidalgo
G on Twitter.
Yes, true. So overall, I think we said it before we recorded. I mean, this may have been the best episode so far.
Oh yeah, I mean, I got really a little choked up at some parts with Ezra. It was just like, it's just him talking about how he's unafraid anymore, kind of stuff, and he's willing to accept his fear, kind of thing. It was just powerful stuff.
Very, very nostalgic, this episode.
Yes. Absolutely.
And of course, Yoda, if you've listened to the show, Yoda is by far my favorite Star Wars character. So, it's and that's why I've kind of grown fond of Tom Kane, because I think he's done a great job continuing what Frank Oz started. But yeah, having Frank Oz back to do that, I mean, it's very obviously. But again, like I said, it's like you got James Earl Jones back, you got Frank Oz back, but you still went with James Arnold Taylor for Obi-Wan, which is great because he's Obi-Wan Kenobi now. But I'm pretty sure Ewan McGregor probably would have done it if he was asked.
Maybe. Yeah,
which would have been pretty neat.
Do you think Tom Kane knew about Frank Oz? Because when we interviewed him, he had no. Well, he told us
That's a good question.
He wasn't going to be in Rebels, as far as he knew.
That's a great question because I always figured Yoda would show up eventually.
Right.
Just to kind of tie it back somehow.
Yeah. Maybe it's a one-time thing.
Right, because I think Obi-Wan still has to come back at some point. I mean,
yeah, I think so.
So I anticipated Tom Kane coming because I think he hadn't been contacted yet, but maybe for an episode or two. But maybe it is Frank Oz. Maybe and maybe if they do Vader again, James Earl Jones will come back. Who knows? I mean, I'd be interested to see if they do the Emperor, if Ian McDermott.
Oh my gosh, that would be awesome.
Yeah,
man, that would be so cool.
Because who does the Emperor? No, there wasn't an Emperor. Yeah, who did Palpatine on the Clone Wars?
Clone Wars. Well, the original guy passed away, and I can't think of his name.
Oh yeah, that's right.
The actor who replaced him was Tim Curry.
Tim Curry. Okay, yes. So Tim Curry is currently doing it, right? Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. I keep thinking of Seth MacFarlane. Who did Detours?
Yeah, he just does a weird. He did his own thing.
He did Detours in Robot Chicken, right?
Yeah, yeah. But actually, people always forget Sam Witwer did the Emperor and the Force Unleashed games.
You're right, he did.
So he can do it too.
That's right. And did you hear? You said something we didn't talk about. This is completely. Are we going to move on? I guess. Do you have anything else to say about that?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Now I think I want to say we are halfway through, right? I think as far as Star Wars Rebels goes, I think that was the 9th episode, and I want to say there's like 7 episodes left.
Yeah,
for this season. So I was trying to look that up. I don't know if it's actually been totally announced when the season finale is, but anyway, let's move on to some other news. And I just thought of this, but there was a thing floating around on Twitter over the break about the upcoming Disney releases of Star Wars. We've seen something like this before, where it's like a release schedule for like movies, TV shows, books, games. But the one thing I noticed on there, I think Rebels Report was the one that kind of floated this around, and there was something on there about for one, it was a different animated series. A Netflix animated series,
right? Yeah,
because Netflix has like exclusive rights now to Disney stuff. But there was, I think it was 2018. There was still like season 1 of this so-called Star Wars Underworld.
Really?
Which is the live action series.
Yeah,
that was in the works under Lucasfilm for years.
Right.
So. I haven't heard anything since. What was coming or not of that, but I thought that was very interesting to find out. But if that's going to happen or not.
So you're telling me there's a chance that I can be in Star Wars?
Yes. Still.
I'll go audition for the TV show. That'd actually be cooler because I could potentially be working on that show for about 5 or 6 years.
That's right.
There you go.
But I wonder, what's because it's obviously it had on there episode 7, and it had Star Wars spin-off film, and then episode 8 Star Wars spin-off film every year, kind of thing, and then season 2 of season 2 of Rebels this year. It even had season 3 already, even though that technically hasn't been announced, renewed, but. Because I think it sounds like I've heard Filoni in an interview talk about that, and maybe we've mentioned it on here already, but that really there's only like 5 planned seasons for this series.
For Rebels,
yeah, because I think like I said, I think he has another animated series in mind already.
Yeah.
And I would venture to guess that it's going to be something that bridges between 6 and 7.
I think that was the rumor.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think it was something like that, or if not that, but maybe during the original trilogy. I can't remember, but I think it's after 6.
Yeah, I think it's after 6 as well.
Very cool.
So
That'd be so awesome.
okay, and then let's see. Moving on to some other news. Some real quick news out of Celebration, which is happening in April again, April 15th through the I think it's 18th or 19th.
Yeah.
But episode 3, apparently they did not stop working on the 3D conversion because they have it finished.
Yeah.
And they will be screening episode 3 in 3D as well as the first 2 episode 1 and 2. April 16th through the 19th is Celebration.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, you can see they film or they screen all 6 films, but 1, 2, and 3 will be in 3D at Celebration. So you can actually buy tickets right now online. You can reserve your seat there, and that'd be awesome.
Oh gosh, yeah, that'd be cool.
That would be awesome. And don't forget, season 2 of Star Wars Rebels premieres this April at Star Wars Celebration, which is crazy because season 1 will just finish, I'm assuming.
Yeah, they'll air the last episode and then the first 2 episodes of season 2.
Oh, there are. Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
So it's
okay,
gonna be like a huge
so they're doing the finale and then immediately premiering.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, at Celebration.
At Celebration, correct.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That'll be so cool.
And then you got everybody there that's going to be watching it. Freddie Prinze Jr. and Dave Filoni's going to be there. All the names that are part of the cast, main cast, and everything. So,
I'm trying hard to get to there.
Yeah,
I want to go to there.
Yeah, I want to go to there. Yeah, we're talking about we're in talks now, so we'll get together and figure out what's going to happen there. But,
yeah,
because I'm with you, I might not be able to go the whole time, but maybe a weekend, maybe the weekend or something like that. So
yeah.
But anyway, let's see. I think if I'm not mistaken, I was thinking novel wise, is there a novel coming out this month? I think there is, isn't there?
Would it be Heir to the Jedi?
Heir to the Jedi, yeah. Or did that get? I think that got actually pushed back to February. I think everything got pushed back a month. But what did not and has not been pushed back is finally the release of Star Wars #1 under the Marvel banner.
Right.
That will hit shelves at your local comic shop this coming Wednesday. So I'm mistaken. Heir to the Jedi is actually releasing March 3rd, so they got pushed back a couple months.
Ew.
So anyway, so that's the novel side. But the comic side, so stoked. Star Wars #1 coming next week. The first of many series that's going to be canonized under the new banner and under the story group. So cannot wait for that. So we'll give you a full review of that next week when we read that comic. So and apparently what's crazy is they've released, like, and I'm not even joking, it's probably 20 to 25 variant covers.
It seems like it, yeah. Like there was a time where it was like every other day it was a new variant
Yes.
cover.
So they have preliminary projected that this book is going to sell over 1 million copies.
Oh, goodness.
Which is unheard of.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to compare it to like the big, Marvel's obviously one of the big two. But DC and Marvel, when they print a book, normally, they're printing a couple 100,000 copies, and
right.
and they're not selling out. unless it's like a major thing. I mean, 1 million copies is unheard of. Now, I don't know how many of the original cover that is. I'm assuming it's probably, like 250, 300,000. But you've got all these different variants that are just selling like crazy.
Right.
And I ordered a couple. The one I can't find the one that I want, which is the Alex Ross one.
Yeah, geez, yeah.
Which is which is awesome. It's the recreation of the original 77 one. So that's the one I'm really trying to find. But there's all kinds of different variants for it. It's ridiculous. So I am stoked about that, as well as you are, I'm sure.
Oh gosh, yeah.
And then, of course, next month in February, we're getting Darth Vader, #1.
Oh my gosh.
And then March, Princess Leia.
Yeah.
And then I think later, either April or May, we get Kanan.
Oh, that's right.
The last Padawan.
The last Padawan.
So great news in the comic world coming. This is great because this is really going to hold me over until the movie.
Right.
I think that's what's crazy is like if you're a regular comic book reader and you pick up comics every week and read comics. I mean, I really think that's partly the reason why I think the weeks fly by because,
right.
I mean, all of a sudden I'm like, wait, it's comic book day. It's Wednesday, and then I'm reading, and then I'm behind because I might miss a week, and I got to double read, and all this stuff. And it's, but I think comics. If you're into comics, it actually, unfortunately, it makes the time fly by.
Yeah.
But man, nothing can make this year go faster to get to
Back to December.
episode 7. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. What would you do, Case, if you had the option? Would you fast forward? Would you?
Oh, goodness.
Would you click? Would you in click? Have the remote.
Yeah.
Would you fast forward to December 18th?
Oh my gosh. I don't know if I could do that. Like morally, I don't think I could.
I know, right? That's
if I could if I can go forward and then back, maybe. Like just go forward to that day. and then go
you
back.
only can go forward and fast forward to this year.
Yeah, I probably couldn't do that.
Yeah, I couldn't
Guilty
do it
conscience.
either. That would be tough.
Yeah. Because I fast forward and suddenly I have a baby. I'm like, what the heck happened?
Oh God!
I missed this whole thing.
Yeah.
Something crazy happened.
That's do-over.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so news-wise, I think that's everything as far as Star Wars news.
That is all.
So we will get into announcing what Casey kind of alluded to in the beginning.
Right.
We are shooting this weekend a brand new Star Wars fan film,
Ooh.
which I just settled on a title today.
Okay. Oh, let's do. I haven't heard this.
You
Ooh,
haven't?
That's news. No, let's do it.
It is simply Star Wars :
Colon. That's gross.
I know. Yeah, but
Star
you got to
Wars
have
:
Star Wars : because it's everything else has.
Is that a
that's how
medical
they're-
film?
Yeah, that's how they're doing it now. The titles, right?
Yeah. I
But
gotcha.
it's basically Star Wars and simply Bounty.
Ooh. Star Wars Bounty.
Star Wars Bounty.
Very
Because, as you know, or as you would tell if you watched it, we are centering this film around a bounty hunter.
Right.
And now the reason why we're doing this is simply mainly for the return of the Star Wars Fan Film Awards at Celebration.
Right.
So the deadline for that, if you guys want to wait till the last minute like we are, the upload date, the download date deadline is January 16th, which is a week from Friday. And there's some parameters you have to follow if you go online there. The main one that was a little tough for us because I think it's so hard to do is tell a story under 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I wrote something together that should be under 5 minutes and hopefully tells a good story within it. But it actually has a bigger story that maybe we hopefully can tell more of later.
Yeah.
But we've got I feel like we got a great cast. It's 3 people. It's we got Fred Mullins, who's done some stuff for us before in the past. We got a brand new actress. Her name's Courtney Waltermeyer that is playing a character, and then we have a guy from our web series 21 Days of Seaton, Cody Kaiser.
Oh,
that is going. He's actually playing the father.
Nice.
So great cast, of course, great crew. We'll be filming this thing, and we will. Here's the thing: we will submit the film on the 16th, but we will release it as well. I want to get that thing out there. Now it may be a little later, just because with the Star Wars Awards, you're allowed to use assets that they give you, which are music and sound effects, official Star Wars music and sound effects.
Right.
But I'm probably going to get our sound composer extraordinaire, Justin Durbin, to actually create a original score for it to release under our banner. So I think so there'll be 2 different scores on it. One will have the actual Star Wars score that we'll submit. But and this will be a little different because we've done 2 fan films. What I mean by it's fan films too is 2 our original fan films which were Stormtrooper based, and then we've done 3 basically centered around May the 4th, which is a kind of an annual thing that we do every year. But those have been all comedy based.
Right.
We are doing our first kind of dramatic, suspenseful Star Wars film, which is something I've really been itching to do. And but I mean, what'd you think of what'd you think of the script when you first read it?
I liked it. I mean, again, it's 5 minutes, so kind of the trick with a 5-minute story is you need a small story with it. At least a small contained story. It could lead to bigger things, but a small contained story, and it just needs something to kind of, like with any movie, but more certainly with a short film, is something that wows you in the beginning, something that kind of grabs you, keeps your attention throughout the whole thing because you have a short amount of time. And I definitely think that this script does. Like with any Star Wars film, you need a little action at least. This film will definitely deliver on that, and the way talking with you, the way that we're going to shoot it, I think will absolutely, bring a great kind of interactive, engaging, cinematic quality to it. That may or may not even be in Star Wars films. Actually, we haven't necessarily seen that in a Star Wars film,
right? So
I think this will be an awesome, short, little, fun film that I think. Anybody will love because the story is good. It's short, it's nice and short and sweet, but it's visually it shall be appealing,
and unique. I think
and unique. Yeah,
I think that's kind of the goal of it. I think there's going to be some camera shots and some action in there that I'm not sure you've really seen in any Star Wars films, like you said, and that is the goal. I think. Because you've got to be, and that's the thing too. In the end, is it seems like you can go the easy route by doing a lightsaber battle with a couple Jedis and a dark Jedi or something. Whereas we kind of thought like let's do a bounty hunter story. There's not many bounty hunter stories that are out there, and we're kind of introducing a new one that it has very, very unique skills and
unique set of skills.
So I can't wait to show this, man. It's can't wait to put it together. So we'll update you guys next week because we'll be in the middle of trying to finish this thing post wise. It shouldn't take long to cut together. It is not really, again, 5 minutes long. I mean, so. But that's Star Wars Bounty. Look for it coming soon. Yeah, excited.
Awesome.
All right, trivia.
Let's do it.
All right, so I'm looking at Question 799.
Okay.
You got your book out?
Yep.
Okay. This is Revenge of the Sith era.
799.
799.
99.
Actually, this is Attack of the Clones era. And here's the question. Who said, as a member of the Senate, maybe I can find a diplomatic solution to this mess? Who said,
Good question.
as a member of the Senate, maybe I could find a diplomatic solution to this mess? A, Senator Organa. B, Senator Amidala. C, Representative Binks. Or D, Chancellor Palpatine.
Representative Binks.
This is a good question.
Yeah, man.
Because as of right now, I don't remember that line.
I think I do. I think. Okay. I'm gonna go with C. Representative Binks.
Really?
Yes. I think.
I'm going to go with... I think I'm going to go with Amidala.
Okay.
I'm going to go with B.
Here we go.
Here we go. All right, so I'll choose C for you.
Okay. Dang it.
And it is B, Senator
Dang
Amidala.
it.
Now,
I feel like that'd be too obvious. I was thinking Binks because because leading up to him doing the emergency powers thing.
And I could only think of her possibly saying that to Anakin during whenever they were like camping out or sitting.
Gosh, yeah. Yeah.
That's the only time I can ever really think of if she, because they were talking politics a little bit then.
Yeah. See, I was thinking, because isn't like Padme talking to Binks by like a window or something like that, and he just, I don't know.
Yes.
I was thinking of another scene. That stinks.
That stinks. Well, start to a brand new year. We are looking forward to bringing you. I mean, it's on. The countdown is officially on.
It is on.
You know what I mean? I mean,
yes.
We are going to be here every week for you, and we are going to be doing our best to get you ready for episode 7, as well as everything Star Wars related, as far as Star Wars Rebels, comics, books, and whatever else they come up with on Star Wars. Now I want everybody to kind of get ready too, because I think we've been talking and meeting, and I got to get with Casey a little bit even more depth. But we've got some ideas on how to frequently update our YouTube channel at 21 Network as well. We got to get some more video up on there. We kind of went to the wayside a little bit towards the end of the year just because everybody got so busy. But we've got plans in place to get it going and look for some more Star Wars stuff from us on there as well. So, and of course, again, Star Wars Bounty, our new fan film, we will put that out next week, we'll probably in the next couple weeks it'll be out, but look for that. And we appreciate everybody who's stuck with us this whole time. I mean, we're coming up on 2 years that we've done this podcast.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is so great.
In a few months here. So we appreciate it. All right. So I have a feeling you've got a good quote going.
I got one. Yeah, kind of relates to the most recent Rebels episode.
Yes.
Let's see. That place is strong with the dark side of the Force. A domain of evil it is. In you must go. Little Yoda quote.
Awesome.
Once again, I do a lot of Yoda quotes, but yeah, because it reminded me so much of Empire.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And so, and that quote was like hitting me as soon as I was watching. I was like, "Oh wow, that's great."
That was so awesome about the Force Unleashed 2 game when he goes to Dagobah, even though that's not canon now. But that was pretty awesome.
Oh yeah.
All right, so hope everybody had a great Christmas, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. I hope everybody started their year off great. And thanks for joining us here. Of course, check us out at InsideTheForce.com, Inside the Force on Twitter. He is Kryptonian1138. I am D. Cottingham21. Hit us up on Twitter if you got any comments, questions. Of course, Facebook as well, Inside the Force. Check us out on YouTube, 21 Network. 21 Network on YouTube for all the supporting video from all of our shows coming, especially if you like watching, us talk about in-depth show. We do a Gotham after show, a video show on that is on there. We just started that again this week as Gotham premiered, so check that out. Can't wait to talk Star Wars again next week.
Yep.
He is Casey Cooley.
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great weekend, and may the Force be with you.
This has been a production of the 21 Network. For more great podcasts, visit 21network.com. To view additional content, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/21network. Follow us on Twitter at 21network for the latest news and updates. The 21 Network, for the fan and all of us.